Now, this isn't a sight you see every day. It's around lunchtime and I'm in the cafeteria to grab a bite to eat. I just don't expect to find Ted here too. Hi, Ted! I'm not saying I'm sort of cafeteria regular, but I rarely see him here. Actually, I rarely see Ted around campus in general. I figure he must be working when he's not at school. Well, this is too rare an opportunity to pass up. I tightly grip my lunch tray as I go over to join him. I don't want to stumble and wind up spilling chicken soup all over him. Though that would be kind of hilarious. Ted has a table all to himself and papers are fanned out in front of him. Is he doing some kind of project? Oh man, I hope I didn't forget something for criminology class. Please don't tell me that's for criminology. Ted doesn't even look up as I stop by his table. Nope. Personal thing. If you're going to join me, sit on this other side. I don't want you messing up the files. At least he didn't respond with "Go away, Nicole," like I was expecting. Carefully, I seat myself opposite Ted. He's resting his forehead into a propped-up palm, and the corner of his upper lip is bit between his teeth. Whatever he's doing, he's sure thinking hard about it. You don't want to ask me what... You don't want me to ask you what you're doing, huh? Nope. But you're going to ask me anyway, aren't you? I grin. It's nice that he knows me. He knows me by now. If it's not for class, what is it? Looks like you're having a hard time. I try to lean over to read what's on the paper, but Ted shoots me a glare strong enough to push me back. Classified. Can't let you do that. Then just tell me what you're doing already. Ugh, fine. I'm planning out an employment strategy. Ted briefly holds up a paper, and I see the words "now hiring" at the top in big, bold letters. Ah, so it must be for your store, right? Bingo. Remember that guy who ran out the last time you were there? You mean the one you let get away? Ted blushes angrily and tilts his head away. Shut up. That doesn't matter. Point is, he don't hang around the store no anymore. Did he quit? He was fired. Yikes, I should have seen that coming, poor guy. Can't imagine how hard Ted was on him. Now I have to hire someone else to take his place. Right now I'm planning out what to put on the flyer and where to post them. I already made a list of establishments that allow advertising organized by distance, of course. I stare at Ted in stunned silence. All this just to hang up flyers? I don't think you have to go that far. Wrong. I have to make sure the best possible message is spread in the best possible manner to reach the best possible people. That way I'm guaranteed to get the best possible replacement. Ted returns to sorting through the papers he has on the table. Get it? Not really? What's the big deal? You might not get the best possible employee, but you'll probably get someone really good anyway. Ted stops what he's doing and looks at me. His gaze is intense and without mercy. What did I do? That's settled. And settling is not something I'm going to do with the store. It's too important for me to do that. Because it's your dad's? Something like that. He waves his hand like he's trying to shoo away an annoying bug. I ain't expecting you to understand, but don't get in my way and try and talk me out of this. I gotta do the best I can. Fine, I'll shut up. I look down at my bowl of chicken soup, suddenly remember about it, and stir my spoon around the broth. I start eating quietly as Ted goes back to his work. You're kind of some kind of perfectionist, huh? Ted regards me with a side glance and speaks through the corner of my mouth. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Noticing my trepidation, Ted takes pity on my poor soul. And what's wrong with that? If I do my best job I can, with all that I can, then I reap the rewards with no regrets. Yeah, but you're going to get gray hair before you're 30. Ted coughs and shakes his head. Have you seen my pa? It'll be a cold day in hell when that happens. Now, if you ain't going to help, then shut up. I'm trying to work here, and I don't need to be laughing. I sorely spooned more of my soup into my mouth. At least he called me funny in his own way. What would you have to do? What would you have to do for this job? Nothing too difficult. Work at the register, stock the shelves, clean up, organize the back. I do the brunt, but I need to make sure whoever gets this job can do the rest. Oh, so it's pretty easy, huh? If you're competent. Okay, then sign me up. Ted jerks like I punched him in the shoulder, and he looks up at me like he's trying to gauge how serious I'm being right now. Don't tell me you're volunteering. What's with that face? It's only a part-time, right? I can use the money. Ted sits back in his seat and crosses his arms stubbornly. It's not going to be as easy as just asking me what makes you think I should hire you of all people. Look at it this way. I need a job. You need someone who thinks you're kind of scary. It's a win-win. You think I'm scary? Ted acts like this is some sort of honor. Don't get too ahead of yourself, bucko. I only said kind of scary. I can handle working for you. Oh, really? Yes. Like, here, try me. Let's have an interview right now. Ted looks around at the noisy cafeteria background. Okay, so it's not your typical professional setting, but it's going to have to do. He sighs, resigned, and stacks all the papers he has into a neat pile. Fine. This will be a good way to see if you're on your toes. I actually start to feel nervous as Ted cracks his knuckles and sits up straighter in his seat. You're done with your soup? No eating during an interview. Petulantly, I take one last sip and then push my tray to the side. I think Ted might be taking this a little too seriously. Now, Miss Grave. He arches a brow as I reflexively snort. I'm not used to him addressing me so formally. I simmer down as Ted glares at me. Sorry, what were you saying? I was going to ask, do you have any prior work experience? Well, I do have some odd jobs around town, but it's nothing too extensive. Other than that, I didn't do much during high school. Wait, no, I babysat my brother. Does that count? Not really, but I'll take that into consideration. Tough crowd, though I should have expected it, considering it's Ted. I'm going to have to do a really good job if I want to impress him. All right, game face, Nicole. You have to show Ted that you want this. We go through the rigmarole of the usual interview. Ted asked me if I have any time constraints that would get in the way. Nope. Why am I interested in the job? Because of the money. And if I've ever heard of their store before. Kinda, and so on. I think I'm doing pretty good. Ted doesn't look like he thinks this is the dumbest idea ever anymore. Alright, final question. I quietly cheer under my breath. This is the home stretch. All I have to do is nail this question, and Ted, I'll probably consider me for the job. If you had to describe yourself as a music genre, which genre would you be? Okay, say what? Could you repeat that question, please? Simply put, what kind of music would you be if you were music? Ted looks at me with a smug expectancy, like he just knew this question would trip me up. Fine, I'll show him. Get ready, because I'm going to hit this one out of the park. See, I feel like if I say country, he's going to think I'm placating. I'd like to think I'd be jazz music. Ted nods and gestures for me to continue. Yes, because... I don't know about blues or anything like that, but swing and ragtime are jazz, right? Those are super lively, which is pretty fitting for me. The techniques used in jazz are also impressive, just like my skills. But that's mainly for improvisation. I blink and cock my head. That's a thing in jazz? Yep. It's when the music gets to pick whatever notes he wants to play and goes with it. It works well if you're skilled, but if you're only a beginner, like a newly hired employee, it's likely to be disastrous. So I'll take that as saying hiring you would be a real gamble. What? No, it won't be anything like that. I could have kicked myself as I realized I'd fallen. Shoot, can we go backward? Ted's trapped. I open my mouth to say more, but Ted taps the edge of his papers against the table, cutting me off. I want to see. Can I pick different ones? I can. It'd be country music. Ted scoffs and shirks back in his seat. I swear if you said that because you think it'll appeal to my southern sensibilities. No, hear me out. Don't jump the gun now. Ted looks unamused as I playfully mimic his accent. I cough and hastily return my voice normal. Some people just can't appreciate a good joke. I be country music because I like to keep consistent. I follow the formula that works to produce satisfactory results, but sometimes I change it up to produce something better. For something I totally just ad-libbed on the spot, I think it sounds good. Ted must think the same because he looks at me slack-jawed. How was that, boss? That's stupid. But now I know I can go back and fix these. I guess that's a satisfactory answer. I would flash the victory sign if it wasn't so unprofessional. That'll teach Ted to never doubt me again. Ted hides his awe with a brusque harumph and taps the edges of his paper against the table for effect. That concludes the interview. I released the pent-up breath and finally relaxed my back. It got a little shaky at the end there, but overall I think that I had good enough for Ted's standards. I hope it was, at least. So, do I shake your hand now? Nah, you're good. I think I've made up my mind anyhow. I lean across the table, pushing off my toes of my shoes so I nearly reached Ted on the other side. And Ted lowers his eyelids and stares me dead straight in the eyes. You can have the job. His eyes clenched shut as I let out a victorious whoop. Gonna make some bank. Only because it'd be a real pain and take way more time to hold more interviews. You don't seem like you're a half-bad worker. I doubt you can be any worse than the last guy. Ew, please don't compare me to him. I am so relieved, though, now that the interview's over. I can finally go back to eating. My nerves are so frayed that I feel 10 times hungrier. When do I get to start? Please, not with your mouth full. I swallowed so Ted stops grimacing at me like some sort of 4-year-old in a fancy restaurant. Better? Much. And you can start after I talk to my pa about it. Once that's clear, I'll get in touch with you. Well, Ted grows a little bashful. That means, I'm gonna need your number. Sure, no biggie. Give me yours while you're at it. I eyed Ted amused as I pulled my phone out of my pocket. You act like you're asking me on a date. Shut it. I never bothered with any of this. I wasn't sure if it was even too forward to asking. Well, here's some advice. Take a chill pill, boss. It's for work. I don't know, and don't call me that. Fine, Mr. Bossy. As soon as Ted's done groaning, we exchange numbers. The moment Ted's done entering mine into his phone, he returns it to his pocket and gets to his feet. I expect a call from us soon, Nicole. I'll be relaying on your schedule. I'll be relaying your schedule to you once I've sorted it out. Okie dokie, are you going now? Well, there's no need to plan out my flyer distribution now that the problem's solved. Ted offers me a stiff farewell wave. So yeah, I'm out. I left my hand way back, but Ted's already marching off before I get a chance to. I'm getting a sinking feeling that working for this guy isn't going to be the walk in the park, but hey, money's money. Watch him actually be the killer. Diligence, probably. Can I go work? Nope. Not yet. Alright, so Jeff, so it's 0 on Darren, 5% on Kurt, 10% on Jeff, and we got to 15 on Ted, so the dad joke's gone.